Hi everyone, I thought I would do something a little bit different today. Not massively different, but a little bit. So I have picked a picture from the spring Colouring Heaven book. Now I've been looking through it and I really like all the pictures by Alexadra Dannenmann. I don't know her, but her pictures are so sort of neat and also very pretty. I picked this one, which is obviously a sort of symmetrical circle design, and I also picked my next colour cube card in the box. So I'm working through my colour cube cards in order, so looking at this it doesn't look particularly spring-like, but I think we can do a little bit of adaptation and grab maybe a green to go with these, and then, you know, have a go and see what we can come up with. Now what I tend to do when I grab a colour cube card is I have a quick glance at the colours and think about what pencils I have, what pencil sets I have that have the right sort of palette for this. Peach is quite an unusual colour in coloured pencils, or at least in the sets that I have, so it limited my choice a lot, which made it easier to find what I wanted. Now this is the swatch chart of my Arteza Expert pencils, and you can see we have a few peachy type tones here, so that's great. Now what I'm going to do is gather maybe 1, 2 or 3 pencils for each of these, and then we can use them through our picture. So the first one, as you can see, is our platinum. I'm just going to open out my tin, which I haven't done yet. So in our greys, on my swatch chart down here, you can see our lightest grey, the smoke grey. We've got a cloudy grey, and both of those are quite silvery, so I think they'll work well. So I'm going to grab those two out there. And then this one's quite dark, but then we've got a really dark black here, so I think I'm only going to choose those two. We'll get some darker colours when we get down to this part. Now with our cream, you can see we have this quite a light and then a more, and then this one is almost a browny, quite a strange colour. But I'm going to just have a look at what we've got now. Here the jasmine yellow is very much a creamy colour, so we're definitely going to find that. Just looking for it. There it is. Now this sapphire yellow is more of a lemony tone, but I'm going to take that as well. It isn't quite within our cream family, but I think it'll work quite well. But I'm not sure whether to sort of pop a camel brown in there or not, just to sort of finish it off. I think I might. We're sort of going a little bit off-piste, just to try to, my camel brown is so long, just to try to get a nice selection of colours. I might not use them all anyway. And then we have our peach. Now here we have a marmalade orange, an apricot and a peaches and cream, which are all quite peachy. But one of our peaches here is really quite dark. It doesn't really look like any of these though, does it? But I would say a dark peach would be more like a burnt ochre. So I think I'm going to go marmalade orange, apricot, and burnt ochre. Is that it? Got to check the number because it's too short. Yeah, there it is. They're really short, these pencils, but you know, that's okay. Now with the auburn, I'm thinking we could have our passionfruit red, our garnet red, and maybe even that sienna brown. So that's what I'm going to grab. Garnet red, passionfruit red. I've actually got a much longer set of pencils in these colours in a watercolour set. And lastly we have our charcoal. I'm going to take the black and the charcoal grey for that. And then I'm thinking, do I want a green? Because if we look here, we've got leaves and things. I'm not sure. I think I will leave it for now and then decide. So I will just remind you of the colours that I've picked out. I picked out the cloudy grey and the smoke grey, the jasmine yellow, camel brown, sapphire yellow, the sienna brown, marmalade orange, apricot, what's that, burnt ochre, passion fruit, red, garnet red, charcoal grey and black. So as I said before, we may not use all of our colours. we'll just see how we go. Let's just reorganize my desk slightly. I'm going to start right in the middle. I do like doing that when I've got a mandala-y type picture, so we're going to come right into the middle and just have a little look there. Now we have a lot of yellow, so I'm thinking we could do a yellowy centre. I don't want to go, we've got this sort of dark dots, so I'm thinking I might use the camel brown. So small. I'm just going to sharpen it as well. So I'm going to use the camel brown around the edge where it's dotty. I'm going to layer it on fairly thickly around this bit, and then a bit less as we come into the centre like that, just fading it as I go. And then I'm going to use the which one was the more creamy? Was it the jasmine? Yeah, I'm going to use the jasmine yellow. I'm going to go right on top and then bring that colour into the middle like that. I'm going to not leave any white if I can help it. There we go. So there's our flower centre. Just going to move, I've got a graphite pencil there, I don't want to pick that up by mistake. Now around this edge we've got our petals. Let's have a think. Let's do this one in our peachy tones, why not? So I think I want the lightest, which I think is my apricot, for the petals. So I'm just going to start with that and then see where it takes us. So here, I want it darkest where it's right up against these seeds, whatever they are. And then lighter as we go out towards the edge of our petal like that. Yeah, this spring book, by the way, I didn't really say, is a Colouring Heaven issue. Advert forthcoming. You can buy all their seasonal books as a bundle for a slightly reduced price, and then you'll get the spring one right away. Or you can just grab the spring one if you want to. Alternatively, you can find any flowery page and colour along with me on a different page. You know, you don't have to use this particular book, but I will have all the links in my description, or my affiliate links, for the Colouring Heaven magazine. And there is a flip through as well you can go and look at, just to see if you want to, if you're interested. There's quite a variety of different illustrators in it, which I always think is quite nice. I actually prefer that. Like their Christmas one was like that too, and I preferred it personally because there's plenty to choose from. Now we have our outside and these dots, and I'm thinking I'd like to do them the same colour. Now what did I use for my darkish peachy colour? Was it the burnt ochre? I think it was. Is that 202? Yeah, so this is burnt ochre. You have to believe me. And I'm going to do these circles with this, and then the outside edge. Now the colour cube card I also need to talk about. Now this Colouring Heaven sponsor my channel, which is why I have to say advert, and yeah, I'm also an affiliate for them. Colour cube cards, not an affiliate, not an advert, bought them myself. Now these are Sarah Rennie Clark's colour cube cards. Now what she basically has done is she's taken a load of 500 stock photographs like this, and then picked out various colours from them, and then named it, found its Pantone, I can't remember, number, and then put one each side. So this platinum is the one in the middle, and this cream is the one in the middle, and she's done sort of tones either side to help you, and then produce them as cards. They're very expensive. They're a bit cheaper now. When I bought mine, it had to be shipped from Australia. She's now got a UK distribution centre, which means that it's cheaper because you don't have to pay the huge amount of shipping. They are really heavy, and it's a bit cheaper to ship from within the UK, as I'm sure you're very aware. So they're a little bit more reasonable now. However, there is also, I can do these outside ones now. How should we do the centre? Yeah, I'm tempted to do this way. I'm going to use the marmalade, the marmalade orange for the very outside of the centre. I'm going to sharpen it. It's nice and sharp. Now you can get a digital version of the cards, and personally I think that would be better. It depends how much you like digital things, obviously, and for me personally, because I show you them on a video, so I'll keep showing you the card every so often, couldn't do that with a digital one. So for me, yes, the choice sort of was made for me. However, if I was buying it just for myself, I think the digital would be better. Not only because it's a bit cheaper, which is always nice, but also you can filter them, sort them by sort of seasons or types. So you can put foodie pictures, which this one is, I think. Oh, this one's a drink, I don't know. So you can have food pictures, spring pictures, Halloween pictures, Christmas pictures, sunsets, spring palettes, all that sort of thing. So they're sort of sorted, which makes it easier. So if you've got a spring picture, like we have here, you could just click spring palette and then it would throw you up all the cards. Throw you up, that sounds a bit nasty. Show you all the cards which had a spring theme to them. This is passion fruit red, and I'm going to do all the petals of all of these with this. Again, like this one, I'm going to fade it towards the outside. So for me, that would be a better option, really. And also, because it's a bit cheaper, you might be able to have enough money left over to do the bundle, which also includes a sort of list of pencil brands and which colours match the best. So if you had this card and you had polychromos, let's say, you could go to her piece of software and it would tell you that, say, the black would be the best match here. This might be, say, the Venetian red. This I would have no idea. This could be the cream, this could be the cold grey too, or whatever. It would tell you. So, and I have looked, I've done that with, I've got a friend who's got that one that tells you the colours, and we did a buddy colour and she sent me the polychromos colours, and I actually didn't agree. But you know, that was me. But obviously it can be much quicker and more useful to match up. Some people don't. I match colours quite quickly and easily. It's something that I can do, but not everyone can. Or if you're a beginner, you can be a little bit daunted, and that's not surprising. But the piece of software there does it for you, and it has quite a few different brands. It had prisms and polys, which you would expect. I don't know if it has Arteza. I think it might have castles. I'm not entirely sure, but it will say before you buy, you can look. It tells you. I think it might have some Derwent, some, no, I really don't know. But she does add to it every so often, and if you've got it, you can get an update, you know, because it's like an app on your phone, so you know, have an update when she adds more, and you can go and update it. So I think that's quite a useful addition to have, really. So yeah, I would say the digital ones are probably a better, more cost-effective option. But you know, having a box of these sat on the shelf, it does look quite pretty. You know, when I get my craft room, you know, dreaming again, they'll look really nice sitting up on one of my white shelves, you know, maybe with a card or two propped in front, that sort of thing. Lovely photogenic boxes. Didn't bring a box through, I can't show you what they're like, but yeah. Anyway, that's it's not going to happen, but it's nice to dream, isn't it? Isn't it? So yeah, we've got other plans for money. Not moving to a bigger house, really. I'd like to, but it's not going to happen. It's you know, we want to be able to help our boys out in the future, not frivolously spend our money on a house that's got a colouring room. Right, I'm looking for my next colour, and I think I'm going to go for the garnet red. It isn't hugely darker than the passion fruit, but I think it will just work for these little end bits. I think they might be supposed to be a turned over, no, I don't know what they are. I'm just going to colour them in with the garnet red. Now, if you don't have the Arteza pencils, I do have some comparison swatch charts with other brands. You can find the nearest matches, or you can obviously just colour along in whatever you've got. I'm just blocking these in. And you may not have this book and this page anyway, so just do some nice florals, whatever you want. It can be nice just to colour along with somebody else. I found something really interesting the other day. I was watching it was a ADHD video. I watch a few of them. My sister's been recommending one called ADHD Love, which she says could help me having a partner with ADHD, but I can't say as it does too much. But anyway, what they were doing was she was doing some washing up and she was live streaming it, and other people were then doing their chores alongside. And apparently if someone's doing something, it motivates you more to do your own chore if you have ADHD. I don't know if that works for everybody, or but it makes me think, well, maybe when you're watching my video and I'm colouring, it might just encourage you to do some colouring too, which is nice, even if it's not the same thing. I always think it's so beneficial to do some colouring, whatever it might be. Now we're looking a little dull, not dull, but not very spring-like, and I'm wondering whether to do these blooms in yellow, just to lift the page. I know we've done yellow for our flower centres, but I see nothing wrong with doing some yellow florals as well. So I'm going to go back to my jasmine, and I'm going to do these leaves here in the bright, well, it's not that bright, it's a sort of creamy yellow. I'm trying to fade them towards the tip, but it's not really going to work. But hey ho. I'm also considering at this point in time whether to swap my greys and brown and blacks for some greens. Yeah, I had said that before, that I might want some greens, but I'm looking here, the leafy bits here, I don't want them in black or grey, and I don't really want them in this red or this peach either. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to switch out and put some greens. If we look on this card here, oops, the card that was used for the pictures upside down, there's some green there. I don't know how well you can see. There's a sort of bluey green colour. It's mint, I think. So I'm thinking maybe I should get some green. I don't know if I want mint, but I'm going to get some. I'm definitely going to get some green. So I'm going to be naughty, rebellious, and not stick entirely to the card. You'll have to just slap my wrist virtually because I'm a naughty girl. But I just want it to look a little bit more spring-like. I did flip through a few cards, but they were all quite dark and sort of wintry colour scheme. I'm at sort of that point in the box. And I was like, I don't really want to just search through and try and find a spring one, because it takes ages. So I decided to just... so that was a jasmine yellow. I'm wondering whether to use the sapphire on the edges, but I think it might not quite work. So I'm going to use the camel brown. I think the sapphire, because it's a sort of lemony colour, it might just look a little bit weird. I'm just going to block this in, I think. There we go. I went for a nice canal walk again this morning. I needed to go to Waitrose, the supermarket that's just along there, advertising opportunity there. I don't usually name it, do I, where the supermarket I go to. It's our corner shop, effectively. So it's an expensive corner shop that has very nice things and lovely staff. So I was going along there, and my son came with me for a little walk, and it was rather pretty. I'm just going to choose... I think I am going to choose a mint green if I can find it. Is that the mint green? No, that's the spring green. Lime green, pear green. We'll get there in a minute. Bear with me. I think that's the mint green. Is it 609? No, it's 606. It must be this. Here it is. Really long mint green. So I'm going to use the mint green for the outsides, I think. It's going to be my darkest green. And use something light in the middle. So yes, there was some beautiful blossoms along there. I think I spoke about them the other day. They look like cherry blossom, but I'm not entirely sure. I have to take my husband down there because he might know. Or he might be able to take a photo of it on his phone and get it to identify what it is. You know, he knows all these fancy things. I think it's Google Lens, isn't it, that does that? I don't know. Anyway, so it was lovely, and it was sunny this morning. It wasn't warm. I was going to say warm. It wasn't. It was quite chilly because it was early, and we hadn't had a frost, but nearish. It's quite chilly, but very nice. Didn't see masses of people. Right, the centres, I want a slightly lighter colour. I'm just looking. I think I'm going to have to go for the spring green. What about the absinthe green, actually? Absinthe. No, it's a bit too olivey. Is that the spring green? There it is. It's got just the G left. It's all wearing off. I've had these a long old time. So this will really lift it, make it look a bit more spring-like. But it's still quite minty-ish, like the colour in the picture. So we're not straying too far away from what we're supposed to be doing. We're not being too naughty. A little bit, not too much. There are some really nice pictures in this book, as I was saying before. There's some, you've got these sort of people pictures, and you've got these sort of Caroline Kibowski, loads by Alexadra Dannenmann, like this one. And then there's La Bazusa colouring, there's a few like that. More people pictures by Gracia Salvo, who I've heard of. And then you've got Agripot pictures. And these first ones are Deborah Muller, who someone I think said, was it Deborah Muller that someone said used to release a lot of books but doesn't perhaps do so anymore? Was that her? I can't remember. But anyway, there's quite a mix. There we go. That's okay. Now, outwards, we've got quite, I'm going to move this way. So this, we've basically got 4 of these blooms and 4 of these blooms. We've got this little bit on the edge. I want to try and really go brighter, lighter. So I'm going to do a little bit more with my oranges. So I'm going to use the marmalade orange first. I'm going to put it in here. And it's a slightly darker colour than the one we used for the other flower, so it looks a little bit different, which is good. I'm going to go just up to that inside line. Now the outside part, I'm sort of torn. Do I go with the apricot or do I continue with this colour? I think I'm going to continue with this colour because I think it will look very bright then. So like that. There we go. Now I've decided that I'm not going to do every bit of this outside. I'm just going to do one of each flower, and then I'll finish it off camera. I think it might just get a bit too much the same, maybe. I'm also trying to think of what videos to do for you next for Magical Worlds while I'm colouring. There's that. So I was thinking, I need my notebook. Oops. Well, I do want to use my blacks and greys, but I just don't want to use them too much. So I'm having a little think. I'm just noting down what I'm using. This is the 4-petaled flower. marmalade orange for the petals. Now in between the petals, that line, I think I might use this. This is the sienna brown. Just so we use this one a little bit, and I think it will just sort of add a bit of a focal point for us. There we go. I don't know if I want to do that in the middle. Might get all a bit too dark otherwise. Now the leaves I'm going to do in exactly the same way as I've done the other leaves. So there's mint around the outside and the spring in the middle. So I don't know if I really need to show you much of that. There we go. So there is that one. So that is the sienna brown. And the centre, I think I want to go for a yellow. I'm actually going to go for the sapphire yellow. So we're going quite bright here. It's brighter than the jasmine. It's not really the cream that we're supposed to be using. It's a bit more bright. But I'm just noting that down. Okay, so that's that, and then around the edge all the leaves, as I say, will be the same as these. So I'll just show you one maybe. So I've got a mint green. I'm showing you it, you can't see the name of it anyway, around the edge. And then for the inside you could just fade it up to the tip, or you could fade it from the centre to each end. I'll show you. So you could go from here, darker here, and then less as you go to here, like that. It doesn't show up loads because it's quite a faint colour, light colour. We're getting sort of more intensity in the middle, like that. Now, so all those are the same, and of course you can fade them to the tip instead if you'd rather. This bit here, I'm just thinking this could be an opportunity for a little bit of platinum or black. We also haven't used that 202. What's that? That's the burnt ochre. Okay. So I am thinking maybe because it's like a border, I'm going to go for the black, the noir it's called, and make this bit here look like a black gemstone. So round here I'm going to try and fade it towards the centre. So we've got a light bit in the middle, like that. Then take the, what's this, the cloudy grey, and try and make it look silvery on the outside of that little bit. Give it a sharpen. Now, I think this could be a leaf. If you'd rather, you can just colour this as a leaf. I just feel like I should be using all of the colours. So I'm going to make this end darker like that, fade to there, and this, and so we've got a bit of white there, which hopefully makes it look a bit shiny, like it's metallic. Then we are going to, we are going to use the smoke grey. So I just need to note down what I'm doing. So we did a black stone, cloudy grey around it. Okay. So this is the smoke grey, and this time I'm going to make this the biggest. Use the grey for the biggest area like that, and fade it towards the middle, like that. And then we're going to use the charcoal grey for the edge, and we're also going to, once we've sharpened it, fade that as well to make it look a bit shiny. like that. There we go. So these sort of darker ones will form the border. So we've got one here as well. I'm going to do it in exactly the same way. So this charcoal grey will be this outside bit like it was for the last one. And on this bit too. Just going to fade it to that tip. Then the smoke grey for this bit. Like that. Then the black, the noir, for the sort of these bits to make them look like stones. With a light bit in the middle. Like that. And then the last grey, the cloudy grey, for these outside bits again, fading it towards the middle like that. Still not looking particularly spring-like. Now we've got these last flowers to do. I'm going to sneeze. Right, that's better, sorry. Now let's have a think. We haven't used this colour yet, which is the 202, so I'm going to use this. That's the burnt ochre. See, I'm slightly torn as to, I think I'm going to use the burnt ochre on the outsides of the petals. I'm going to sort of fade them towards the top a little bit, like that. That's it. We've got a bit of leaf here. We'll have to decide which of our greens to use for that. Now I've got to decide whether in this central part, whether I go for a yellow, but we've got a yellow right there, or whether I go for a red, which we've got, or whether I go for peach colour, which we've got there. So, decisions. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the apricot in here. You can see it's different to this colour. It's a little bit of a lighter flower overall. I'm just fading it towards the tip a little bit, so we've got more layers nearer to the centre. There we go. So we put 606 edge apricot petals, mint leaves. That's what I'm definitely going to do. So where's the mint? Here it is. Mint is this little teeny one. I'll do that now. These leaves I'm just going to fade to the tip. Like that. And then I think we need to do a yellow centre again. There we go. I don't want to use this bright colour that we used for this one, which was this sapphire, I think. Yeah, we're going to use the jasmine, the centre, and I'm going to go over the whole thing with this. Like that. There we go. Now I've done all of it. I'm going to go away and I'm going to finish it, and then I will show you how it looks when it is done. Right, so here is the a final finished picture done using the colours that I said I was going to use. The only thing I feel is that the edge of this is quite pale, but I think that's okay. Yeah, and we don't have very many reds on this second row. So what I've decided to do is just grab the passion fruit red and just put it on the little circular bits on the edge of here, quite hard, so it stands out over that yellow that's underneath, like that, just to add a little bit of brightness just on that second row, because we haven't got any of the reds on there. I thought that this might work, but it doesn't really, show up as much. So that's my last little thing that I'm going to do. And then I'll show you how it looks with the colour cube cards. You can see how the colours compare to the picture. Here it is. Now immediately we can see the pinks and yellows on the card are a lot brighter, but that's okay. And yeah, so there it is. So that is our completed, I'm trying to get it in a position so I can take a photo with it in. There we go. So that is the, so we have it straight. Like that. So that is the completed, it's called Perfect Petals. Rather lovely. I'm actually rather looking forward to colouring a few more of these designs in here by Alexadra Dannenmann. I might actually have a look and see if she's got any books, although I really shouldn't be buying any more books. How many times have you said that to yourself, I wonder? But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Just a quickie really, and just to show you something a little bit different. So yes, thank you. I hope that you have a super day and happy colouring.